Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 562XP Mark II. This is going to be just a once-over, first look, first impressions kind of video. This is being recorded in February of 2024, and I actually recorded the footage on my bench there about 4 months prior in November. And I just recently got around to discovering that I had actually taken this footage. So we're going to look this thing over and kind of compare the differences between the original 562 and then there was an upgraded 562. You know, the one that got the screw-on type air filter. And then this new Mark II version. So right now I'm just kind of getting my own first impressions here. I mean, you saw me open a box. This is the first one I've seen. I can tell right away that the cylinder cover looks a little bit different. Looks like we got the same air filter there. And functionally, it looks the same. I can tell you though that the air filter holder and the intake boot use different part numbers than the previous versions. We'll spin this clutch cover off of here and take a look underneath. That white piece there, that washer, that's just a shipping spacer that they put on their new saws. So I'm noticing a couple differences here, but I'm not pointing them out yet. You see anything different? Let's pull this starter off of here because something seems different to me and I want to see what's underneath there anyway. So the first thing I notice is that we have 4 pins on the starter drive now. There used to be 2 pins and they would break when it got cold. So hopefully this fixes that problem. I also noticed that the wire from the coil up to the auto tune module is pressed in around the outer edge of the crankcase there instead of running behind the flywheel. Now we've got the same screw-on type air filter, but we do have a different part number on the carburetor. There's a different part number on the air filter holder. I don't know what's different. I haven't really gotten into these real deep to compare them yet. Like I said, this is just my first look. So there you can see the 2-pin starter versus the 4-pin starter. And the air conductor looks like it's built into the starter now. Here's the air conductor on the old style. And we're going to remove this air nozzle. I just want to show you what's going on here with the old ones. The wire from the coil runs behind the flywheel and then right through that hole. Kind of a royal pain in the butt, to be honest with you. I don't know why they did it that way. You know, the way they're doing it now with the Mark II just makes sense. So I put this back together. I put a little Loctite on that screw so that doesn't fall apart on me. Because if that screw comes out, you know where it's going to go? It's going to go stick to the magnet of the flywheel and get wedged up into the ignition coil. Alright, let's take a closer look at what else we got going on here. I kind of like that gray strip on the old style cylinder cover. But right away I noticed, well, look at that. No more decompression valve. In fact, the piston and cylinder are new part numbers. So you ever get one of these covers that just doesn't want to come off? They kind of vibro weld themselves down. There's the original air filter, which was really let in a lot of dirt. Them weren't good. Then they switch it to the screw-on type. And now the Mark II has a screw-on type. I don't know what's different. I didn't investigate it at the time, but the muffler has a new part number. And then here's a little trick for you guys. I use this one in the showroom because right now we have a lot of Mark 1 and Mark 2 versions. 550, 562, 572. No, but the 572 has this style. That big recess in the crankcase. Just look at it compared to the first version. From a distance, you can pick them out. The front handle has a new part number, but more importantly, this plastic piece on the anti-vibe mount, it's now metal, and I'm hoping that it's going to stay tight now instead of loosening up like a lot of the old ones did. So the clutch drum, that's the same part number. The clutch is a different number. I don't know what's different, but they sure look the same, don't they? Brake handles are different, and the chain guide plates are the same. What else do we have here? You know, the crankcase is different, right? And you can see some subtle differences. I'm picking them out as I'm looking at this. The fuel tank, though, that's the same part number. And why change it, really? I mean, I never saw any problems with them. The oil pump has got the same part number. Now, they are different colors on these two versions because I think it's been superseded. But you can see the differences in the front brake handle, the shape of them. And it looks like the grip on the front handle is a little different. Looks like the spark plug boot is just a little different, which, you know, the coil carries a different part number also. So it's really not surprising. We'll put this thing back together here. What else do we have? Same spike on the front, or felling dog. And if we take a look at the clutch covers, we'll see that those are the same. Yeah, I never really seen any problems with them except that they get really ugly real fast. You know, all scratched up. So we'll put this thing back together. Get our cylinder cover put on. Notice there's no vent in the side of this cover. I don't know, that almost seems like a step backwards, doesn't it? But I think that there's a little different approach to the cooling on these versions. But that's all I got for you on the first look at a 562XP Mark II. Thanks for watching. Later.